Thank you. Martin asked me to come along and just share some of the Business Champions material that we have, because we thought it might be valuable to some of you here. And I said to him, look, we've got 3 days worth of really high value content that, you know, is absolutely amazing. And I said to him, how long have we got? He said 20 minutes. I said, is that negotiable at all? He said, all right, 25. So I've got some options here. I can either talk really fast, or what I thought would be a better idea would be to just pick out 1 or 2 key things that I think might be just really applicable to you guys to just really drive 2017 and make it the best year yet. Would that be all right? Raise your hand. Would that be cool? Absolutely fantastic. Is it all right to say Happy New Year? We're only 10 days into the year, aren't we? So we've got 355 days of it to go. Who, if you raise your hand, if you've had the last few weeks wishes from family, from cards, on the internet, on Facebook, from people saying things like, have an awesome new year, prosperity, wealth, happiness, all that kind of thing? Who's had that? Yeah? Everybody. Fantastic. It's really nice, isn't it? Because it's heartfelt stuff from friends who we care about, and it's really nice to know that they care about us. But all that wishing and hoping and stuff like that, does it work? Does it work? See, I work with processes and systems a lot, and the people I mentor are business leaders and aspiring business leaders. And hoping and wishing isn't the process, is it? So we can do a little bit better than that. I go to the gym. I love going to the gym. Who else is gym? Okay, quite a few. Fantastic. Right. So right now the gyms are packed, aren't they? Aren't they packed full of people you've never seen before? Yeah? And they got this kind of agreement, yeah? New Year's resolution. Yeah? Oh, let's get fit, let's eat healthy, let's do this, let's make plans for the new year. Okay. But in 2 or 3 weeks, the gyms will be back to normal again, just the guys that you normally see there, won't they? So what happened? It's a casual agreement with no obligation to fulfil. So hopefully we can do better than that. Can I just ask you, who has goals? Who has goals? Oh, loads of people. Fantastic. Okay. Who has goals that are written? Oh, fewer, but still quite a few. That's really nice. There's some really misquoted. This is just a little aside, but there's some really misquoted research from Harvard Business School. You might have seen it. And it goes something like this. And whoever you ask, you get different numbers, all right? So forget the numbers, but the gist of it is a small proportion of students at Harvard Business School have written goals. And then X years later, again, depends who you ask, they measured the wealth of these people compared to the vast majority that didn't. And the wealth of the people that had the written goals outweighed all of the rest put together. So it's absolutely key to just have a plan and see where you're going. But why do we choose New Year? Just because it's the 1st of January, what's special about that? Isn't there a 1st of everything? And in fact, when you wake up in the morning, isn't it a new day every day? Yeah? Who has things, again, I'm going a little bit off piste already. Who has something like a morning routine, doing something like affirmations or gratitude, that kind of thing, meditation, mindfulness, whatever you call it? A few of you. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So a new day is the same, isn't it? Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. One of my goals last year was to meet this guy. Who knows of Tony Robbins? Oh, loads of people. Fantastic. Anybody met him? Oh, he's a big guy. He is a big. Honestly, his hand is bigger than my head. Seriously. And you can get sunburn just on the reflection of his teeth. Seriously. I love this quote. It's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So I've got 25 minutes. Can I change your life? Yeah? I probably can't in 25 minutes. But guess what? You can. You can. Because how long does it take to make a moment of decision, by definition, is a moment, isn't it? Okay. So there's a few things that enable us to make good decisions, and there's things that hold us back. And it's the holding back stuff that if we can get rid of, then actually That changes the landscape, doesn't it? So rather than waiting for the 1st of January, what's wrong with now? What's wrong with now? BS. Life's full of it. Are we born with this, or do we accumulate it over a lifetime? Okay, we accumulate it, don't we? It comes from everywhere, doesn't it? Okay, so just be clear, belief systems, okay? Belief systems. It's the belief systems, or sometimes what we call limiting beliefs, that stop us taking action. So I just want to go through some of those and just see if we can just explore some with you. And I just appreciate your feedback with this and your honesty, yeah, because we're all friends, yeah? And just see what the limiting beliefs might be and how we might overcome them and how that might change the landscape for us. Would that be all right? Yeah? Great, absolutely fantastic. So, any ideas what some of the common belief systems are, some of the common limiting beliefs that hold us back? Anybody want to just shout any out?
Don't have enough time.
Time, I love that one. Fantastic. Any advance on time? That's one of the best ones, actually. Joseph, you hit the nail there. Absolutely, time. Fear. Okay, yeah, good. Good. Any others?
I've asked and they said no.
Time and fear. Okay, they said no. Okay, yeah. Any more?
Money.
Money. Absolutely fantastic. Oh no. What's happened? Help. The expanded one.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes, absolutely fine. Here we go. So we'll just go through these briefly, because there's one more that I want to focus on a little bit more. Time. Time waits for no man. Time. The most successful business leaders in the world, how many hours in the day do they have? Same. Absolutely. So is time a limiting belief? For me, it's about how you spend the time, isn't it? And it's about priorities. It's about priorities. What do we do about priorities? People say time is money. Who agrees with that?
Yeah, but some people are faster learners than others, so time is different, is relative.
Exactly. Absolutely. Time, if time and money are interchangeable, if you're saying time is money, it means they're interchangeable. Okay, for me they're not. They're nothing to do with each other. Okay? I would spend money to save time any day. Okay? And I would never spend time to save money. It's mad. It's very simple. I can always earn some more money, but I can never earn any more time. So to get on, we need to take some shortcuts, don't we? Yeah? So by actually leveraging money to save time, then we're getting somewhere. Money is often a limiting belief. Some people tell me, "Oh, I'm saving up to start my own business." Well, if you save up to start your business, you'll never start it, will you? Because it's the business that's going to generate the money, isn't it? Okay. So it's never the lack of resources that's the limiting factor for anybody. It's always only the lack of resourcefulness. It's only ever the lack of resourcefulness. I invest in businesses, and one of my business partners is based in Hull, and she's a letting agent, and she started a business which I've been involved with it about 2 years. It's now one of the best known letting agencies in Hull, really prominent store on a roundabout, staff going on 8 staff, well known in the investors community, particularly for HMOs and that kind of thing. We achieved our 5-year goal in 18 months. Now that kind of growth takes investment, doesn't it? How much do you think she started with? Anybody guess? Let me just shortcut that then. £40. £40. So it's never the lack of money, it's always the lack of resourcefulness. There are people in this room that can help with money. I have an amazing guy that helps with money, with finance. Access to finance is a key thing for investors, right, isn't it? Who'd like their own legal eagle. I haven't got a legal eagle, but I've got a financial eagle. In fact, his name's Andrew Eagle, and he's sat right here. So can you give us away? Right, if anybody needs access to, it's just not a barrier. Just know the right people. I haven't got enough knowledge. That's a common one, isn't it? Again, you can learn stuff, but that's maybe a slow process. Shortcut it. Go and find someone with the knowledge, leverage it, and then you're on the way. Tony Robbins also says that if you want success, model excellence. Find somebody who's doing what you want to do. And he says model them. Now, can I disagree with Tony Robbins? Can I do that? He's not here. I wouldn't disagree with him if he was here, right? But if you copy somebody, model them, or a business, yeah, if you're really, really good at it, the best you can hope for is that one day you might be nearly as good as they used to be. Okay? And the reason for that is they've moved on. They've got plans that you haven't got a clue about. They've got a mindset and a whole philosophy around their business that you haven't got a clue. It's all right if you want to be second best. Now, second best is a good place if you're Pepsi, or whichever it is, Coke or Pepsi. It's cool, isn't it? But it's about building your own, you know. Confidence is another thing. It's about if you've got the support network and you can learn it, you can build it. People talk to me about who want investment for their businesses, and sometimes I have to say no. Or I put it politely, I say, look, come and see me in a few months' time, perhaps when things have changed a bit for you or moved on a little bit. And usually I've identified a lack of commitment. They want some money, my time, my investment, or whatever it is, but I sense that they haven't really, they're still in a full-time job. They're not going to commit enough to it, okay? And really that's not going to work either, is it? Now somebody said, I think it was it Martin earlier on, who absolutely nailed it with this next one, which is this bad boy. This is Biggie. Now, we're all friends. Can we just agree that what we say here, right, stays here? Because I'm going to ask you something that's a little bit personal. I just really appreciate your honesty. Is that okay? Can you raise your hand if you can think of a time when fear stopped you from making a decision that would have benefited you? Oh my goodness. My goodness. So like 80% of you. Thank you, seriously, thank you for your honesty. What if we could find a way of understanding fear a bit better? Could we then get rid of it? And then what would happen? How would the world look at that point? I've studied fear a lot. It's been quite a big factor in my journey. It is in all the journeys, isn't it? Can you give me some ideas of what you think big fears are? What are people scared of? Just shout out. Failure. Success, Martin. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, what else? What about physical things? What about things you might do or try or whatever? I'll tell you what. I got invited to do a charity parachute.
No, I couldn't do that.
Do you know what? Neither could I. I turned it down. I didn't just turn it down, I dressed it up a little bit, okay, and made some excuses. And I love flying, don't get me wrong, I fly gliders and all sorts of things, which is great. But I sort of said to them, you know what? In my life, my takeoffs and my landings have always been equal. There's a certain beauty in that sort of symmetry, isn't there? And if I jumped out of a plane before it lands, I'd kind of mess that up. I'd be into odd numbers and, that's not for me. And I said, I've always waited for an aircraft to land before I've got off it. And it just works for me, So there's all these kind of excuses I'm trying to get away from doing this parachute jump. There's been quite a bit of research into fear. And anybody I'd guess what the number one fear is that surveys show?
Public speaking.
Public speaking, yeah. When I heard that, I thought, wow, that's absolutely incredible. So I put a freedom of information request into the coroner's office. And I said, can you tell me how many people in the UK per year die of public speaking? Because right, if lots of people are frightened of it, it must be dangerous, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to understand is the correlation between how the risk of something, the danger, and people's fear of it. Anybody smoke? Well, hardly any, one or two. Okay. You don't hear people being frightened of smoking. They often want to give up and put down and whatever. But the actual act of smoking, they don't fear it, do they? And yet, I don't know, is it tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people die of smoking-related diseases, yeah? So there's a disconnect between fear and risk. And once you understand that, then you've got to say to yourself, well, does fear serve me? First of all, what is fear? It's an emotion. It's an emotion. Now, when our brains developed, the human brain came from a mammalian brain, which eventually came from a reptilian brain some millions and millions of years ago. You might still find people with reptilian brains, right? But that idea of fear, that emotion, served millions and millions of years ago in evolution, in prehistoric times. Okay? But as modern day humans, we've had an upgrade. We've got this frontal cortex, which gives us all kinds of mental powers that we never had when fear was the thing that protected us. Does that make sense? So now, with the powers of reasoning and logic and all those sorts of things, we can make rational decisions that don't need to be based on fear. So it's a bit like a software upgrade. All right, we've got Human Brain 2.0 installed, right? But the old software is still there, and it still bubbles up. Wow. It's in Turkey, that is. Makes me dizzy just to look at it. Who's scared of heights? Even a little bit scared of heights. Oh, loads of people. Me too. Me too. I went to Romania because a couple of my mentees are Romanian. We went up this mountain, nowhere near as high as this. But there's a point where there's a really little ledge against this mountainside. You had to literally pick away along this path. And there's a sheer drop on this side. There's no safety rail, it's Romania after all. Okay? And I find myself edging along this path. Okay? And my friend said, oh, you're scared of heights? I said, no, I'm just scared of the lack of width. Okay? Right. But actually what I was doing, I found myself literally hugging this rock as I'm moving along this little narrow path. And actually, this rock felt really comfortable. It honestly, it was my friend, because the alternative was down there, okay? So that rock felt, honestly, it felt like my mother's bosom, okay? It was so comfortable, okay, compared to the alternative. A bit later in that trip, we went on a ski lift. And it got me thinking about the difference. What is the difference? Imagine a rope come from here, right over the other side of that valley. And you're going to somehow kind of go across, dangling off this rope. Be scary, right? But actually a ski lift is a system. Okay, you've got the physical ski lift itself. Yeah, it's coming down from the mountain, and you've got that big windy wheel, haven't you? In like the hut where the guy is with the controlling the levers. And there's that thing where the doors open and it's still moving, right? You've been to Austria or Switzerland, yeah? And it's still moving, it's around, you're trying to get in it, yeah? And it's gone, and you're trying to get in it, and you just get in it, and then it's off, and then you're up again, yeah? And it's safe. There's kind of three systems going on there. Firstly, there's the physical system, the ski lift itself, there's the cable, there's the windy gear, there's all the motors and goodness knows what that make it work. Then there's the human system, isn't there? There's the people that run it. And they give you a bit of confidence. They've got a uniform on and a hat and name badge, and they look like they've been there for years. It doesn't look dangerous. They look like they're trained to operate the thing properly. And then, of course, looking after the whole thing above then is another system, which is a safety, some kind of government organisation or safety organisation that come and inspect it. They check the maintenance records, they check the staff's training and all that. And when we see a system like that, we can put our faith in it. So fear goes away, and we can make a rational decision. Can I get across that mountainside safely using this system? And isn't business a bit like that? So once we can put fear away and say that's human brain 1.0, we're running 2.0, okay, but nobody quite uninstalled the old software, we can actually say to fear, actually, yeah, I acknowledge it, we know it's there, but actually nowadays we talk about risk, and risk is a mathematical thing. It's about probability, isn't it? It's about expressing how likely something bad is to happen. Yeah, and we keep risk to a minimum. When we talk about systems, everybody goes a bit dry. They go, "It's not sexy, is it? Systems. What systems?" Well, in many businesses, systems is it's a big manual full of stuff. Or maybe it's IT based. Maybe it's software and techie stuff. Okay, it needn't be. Sometimes it is. Okay. But to succeed in a business, to do the same thing efficiently over and over again, provide consistency, reduce cost, and so on, reduce risk. We've got improved performance. Then using a system works. Boat speed. I've got time to tell you about boat. You want to know about boat speed? 2 minutes, right. In Australia, there's a team that competing around the world yacht race. They've got a year to prepare to win the race. And of course they've got the best boat, the best crew, the best training and all that. But there's a bit more, isn't there? There's the management and there's the philosophy and how the team work together with each other. And they said to themselves, look, how do we win the race? All the boats have got to take the same route, more or less. So what's the one thing that will win us the race? Well, it's simple. We've just got to get the boat over the finish line first, right? So how do we do that? We've got to go faster. So surely everything that we do, everything should be focused on boat speed. And if that informs every decision that we make, even down to how many pairs of spare socks each member of the crew takes along, yeah, then surely that's the way that we'll win the race. So boat speed is absolutely key to that. Now there's different ways of getting a system in place. Nobody has to necessarily write their own, but there are some options. Who would say that they're an entrepreneur in the room here? How many entrepreneurs have we got? Oh, a few? Oh, crikey, yeah, quite a few. Fine, about 20%. That's fine. Entrepreneurs are innovators, okay? Entrepreneurs find a way or create a way. You know, that's the entrepreneur's way of changing the world, doing something different, improving, bringing something new. Lots of business owners think they have to be entrepreneurs, and that's not true. If you haven't, entrepreneurship, by the way, is something that can be learned. It's something I teach. It's something I absolutely love. But you don't have to do that. Many people are happy to use someone else's system, and that's fine too. That means essentially buying or subscribing in some way to somebody else's innovation. Okay? In the same way that franchises do. A franchise has an innovation and they license the use of that innovation, usually in a geographical area. It's great because you also get marketing and all kinds of support as well. Anybody in any kind of MLM? I know Rob, but anybody else? Network marketing people? Not many. Okay, just you then, Rob. Fine. But you know, in everybody's journey, there's a place for that. What an amazing opportunity to learn training, all that kind of thing, the camaraderie and learning sales and leadership. The number one failure for businesses, by the way, 90% of businesses fail in 5 years, according to the Financial Times. The number one reason for failure is poor sales. So getting the sales stuff together is kind of key. So I'm not saying it's for everybody, but there is a place on everyone's path. And many people get on really well with that. So if you don't want any of these, the next thing is to just pay. Do you remember the time for money thing? Yeah? Spend money to save time. Pay for someone else's experience. Will you just share something with me just for a minute? Could I ask you to put your hand up if you're in the room and you provide a service that someone pays for, or you have specialist knowledge which you charge for? Could you raise your hand? So, half. Now keep your hands up, keep your hands up. Now the rest of you, have you got a specialist knowledge in something that would help somebody else? And if you have, would you be prepared to share it either on mates rates or some kind of swapsies thing, or maybe just for the price of a coffee, or to pay it forward? If you have, raise your hands. Right, now just people, look around the room at everybody else. Almost everybody has got their hand up. Okay, what an amazing amount of resource. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Arms aching. What an amazing amount of resource we've got just in this room with each other. So, don't you think there's some opportunities for modelling excellence, for training, for learning, etc.? What an amazing group of people. This is where I went wrong. And I'll be honest, I spent years resisting. Training's expensive, can't afford it. And I couldn't, in the early days, I couldn't afford it. I can do it, I can do that myself. I don't need, I'll do it. A bit of confidence, a bit of bravado, but actually, trial and error. It's just not just expensive in failure, but it's expensive in time. And if I wound the clock back 20 years, I would spend much more on training and developing than I did. Absolutely would. So we're just getting to the end. Is it alright to just share a little bit more just with you about what I do? Would that be okay? So my little mantra then, innovate, inspire and achieve. This is about entrepreneurship essentially. So learning the skill of innovation, being able to communicate that innovation leads to being able to achieve. So there's a few things that I do, and the next slide just shows you those. So I'll just go through them really quickly in just a couple of minutes that I have left. Now, Platinum is really for people that I work with closely and I know fairly well. So nobody kind of just leaps into that. It's a bit of a process. We need to have some talks there. Membership of the group, annual group membership, mentorship. It's quite a nice way of engaging, and there's some really good people there that you meet along the way. We have a mastermind weekend coming along in Derbyshire. It's a beautiful spa hotel, absolutely amazing, clean food. We get up to all kinds of things, morning routines, we do Tai Chi, all sorts. So there's some actions, there's a little bit of leisure, there's a workation, okay, and some amazing time getting to know people on a deeper level and masterminding. There is a little opportunity here that I've decided to do, just because it really just makes sense. People who are interested in that, I'm going to do a bring your partner free. Okay, so the reason for that is if you've got a life partner or a business partner, it just makes sense for them to share your journey, to be on the same page, so that you don't come back from this weekend from 2 days of energy and, with people, and you've changed, you're a different person, your partner's going, oh, crikey, he's oh. So bring them along. Business Champions one day intensive, let me leave that for a minute. Just a little one here is that there's a few people that I know that have just struggled with using Facebook for business. I know you guys particularly, etc., are really effective on it because I've seen lots and lots of Facebook stuff. Martin, many of you doing great with this. But there are a few people that have just, in the last couple of years, just found that it's overtaken them a little bit. So we're going to do just a little half a day. It'll be in either my boardroom or it'll be at Chamber of Commerce. It'll only be a small group, 6, 8, 10 people or something like that. And we'll go through just using Facebook for business, from the basic things of Facebook groups, pages, that sort of thing. And we'll go into a little bit of Facebook advertising, marketing, so pattern disruptors, tripwires, and all those sorts of things, landing pages and that kind of thing. But just going back to Biz of Champions, I did this talk a few days ago and somebody said, well, when is it? When is it? So well, it's there, isn't it? I think I put it on there. Yeah, it's here, look, one day. I'll have it one day. Okay. We've actually now set a date. So it's going to be in Lincoln, and it's on Saturday, the 25th of March at the Bentley Hotel. Now, in principle, if it wasn't for the price, just forget the cost for a minute, who potentially would be interested in coming along to that day? A few people, excellent, oh, absolutely brilliant. Okay, so what I want to do is really just be lovely for local people to come on this, because people come from all over the country, and a lot of business development and personal development stuff happens down south. You've got to go to London. It's really good to have something like this in Lincoln at last. So what I thought I'd do would be some crazy offer. And initially I thought, well, let's just get the price and just chop it into 3 and just say, look, just pay a third of it. So let's say £90. £90. And I thought, actually, no. I just really want people in Lincoln to come. I don't just want a barrier. So let's keep that 90 then in our heads. Okay? And let's say 90% off. Okay? So we just remove the barrier to coming, haven't we? Because then that's £28 and plus that, so £33 and some change. So if you'd like to do that, if you'd like to go on either of those two, there's a little form on each table. If you can just give me a name, number, and my team will just be in touch in order to facilitate that. So thank you for being an awesome audience. Thank you for your feedback and so on. And it's been an absolute pleasure to come and share with you tonight. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Okay, well, hopefully that's inspired.